Congratulations on finishing this module. It takes serious discipline to do what you're doing right now. Now, sometimes there's a disconnect between the people that you're watching on camera, so right now we want to have a little bit of a change of pace and let you get to know who Kevin King is. So, Kevin, you don't work with Helium 10, well, you don't work at Helium 10, so how exactly did you get involved?
Yeah, a lot of people actually think I'm actually part of Helium 10, or I'm one of the owners, or I actually work for Helium 10, but actually I don't. I'm independent of Helium 10, and I just do the training. I do the Freedom Ticket course and the Helium 10 Elite Advanced training. And the way that all came about actually is back when Helium 10 started, in 2016, I believe it was, Manny Coates and Guillermo Pillot, who have exited since then, were starting it up, and I ended up going on Manny's podcast. He had a podcast at the time. It's now it's still going, a AM/PM podcast that Tim Jordan does. And I had posted on a Facebook group that Manny had for the high rollers. And I remember back then he got to like 5,000 members or something like that. He's like, "Yeah, we got to 5,000 members. It's awesome." And I remember I was waiting for my wife at for something, and I was just sitting around, some time to kill, and I posted something on there, and it started a reaction, and he really liked what I posted, so he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, Kevin, would you come on the podcast?" I was like, no. I'm just a seller. I just keeping my head down. I have no interest in being out there in the public. I just want to sell on Amazon and make some money. He's like, "No, dude, you got to come on the podcast." And I had a really bad microphone, a really poor connection, sounded like I was in a tin can. I think that episode is still on there. And it turned out after that episode, it became one of the most popular episodes, I think, it still maybe is, on AM/PM podcast. And so that evolved into Manny and I doing a few other things together. He actually ended up coming to Austin to meet the guys at Amazing.com. Him and Guy were trying to work out an affiliate relationship with these guys, and they were doing a conference in Austin in 2016. So Manny said, "Hey, I'm going to come to Austin. I'd love to meet you." I was like, "Dude, I'll pick you up at the airport, no problem." We'd never met before. So I pick him up at the airport, and we go have some barbecue, and it's like, "You can stay at my house." I told him before he came out, the first night, because Guy was coming the next day, I was like, "You can stay at my place." And he's like, "No, I'll get a hotel." I was like, "No, I got a nice place, you can stay there." He's like, "All right, no problem." So he ended up staying, and we drank some, we went out, got a little liquored up. He came back, and the next day he passed out. So he was like totally passed out, and his girlfriend was calling, like freaking out, like, "Where is he?" And Guillermo was coming, at that time lived in Houston. He was coming in, and he was like, "Where the heck is Manny? We're supposed to have this meeting at 12. He's not answering his phone. He's with this strange guy that we don't know. Does he have him tied up in the dungeon, and gagged? Did he take him out in the backyard?" They were freaking out. And so then Manny finally, he woke up and had all these missed messages, and Guillermo figured out my address and like showed up at my door, knocking on the door. Yeah, it was crazy. So from that moment on, we all became good friends, and that evolved into me helping them a little bit debug some things when they first launched Scribbles and Frankenstein, which was the first two tools. And then we started doing at that time it was called Illuminati. It was it's now called Helium 10 Elite. Started doing that together to go out to advanced sellers, and then that evolved into, they decided they wanted to do a course for free people, for new people, and in 2017, and so I created that at that point, and that's kind of how it evolved.
Wow, what an incredible journey you've had. Oftentimes we have this disconnect, as I mentioned earlier, of just seeing somebody online and thinking they've known what they're doing from the get-go, but hearing your story is really refreshing because it reminds us all that everybody starts somewhere. So thank you for sharing, and after the next module, we'll be back with another story.